Okay, printing. Let me just show you a couple examples of reports. Okay, so you can generate a continuity list if you've entered your scenes in ADR Manager, which, by the way, you can enter in at any time before, during, or after you're spotting your cues. And the cues will be placed in the proper scene. But you can generate a continuity list, which I found is useful. Other departments usually ask me for continuity, the effects guys or the music guys or whatever at the mix stage. They'll want a continuity list with footages, because usually you don't get footages from the picture department. You just get a list of scenes, and you have to sort of figure out where those scenes start in the reel. So if you enter that information in, and again, you could use the spotting in Pro Tool, using your guide track and just chopping it up and going through. You can import that into the scene list window as well as the cue list window. So that's one way to quickly create a continuity. So that's an example of one report. Here's an LFOA list with real numbers, version, dupe date, and the LFOA. Here's an LFOA list with running time. The program will automatically calculate how long each reel is and then give you a total down at the bottom. This is a master cue sheet. It has all the information for each cue in it, separated by scenes. So I've got scene headers. You can't really tell, I don't know if you can tell from here, but there's sort of dividers here where a scene begins. So all the cues here fall in that scene, all the cues here fall in that scene. This is an interesting report that somebody made to make it look like a script, like a final draft script. Over here is the cue name in small type, out of the way, and then over here you can, I'm using the font that looks like, Courier font and that kind of stuff. This is useful. We're working on a show called Where the Wild Things Are, and they're constantly, the director wants to be able to record the actors as if he's looking at a script. He doesn't want, the master cue sheet. And this is a cool way of doing it. Okay, here's a line count table, which we looked at before. Here's a line count table with estimated time to loop over on the right-hand side. Here's what I was talking about, where it's subtotaled based on the recording notes. So in this case, everything that's recording in LA is in one group. Everything that's recording in LA that requires David Fincher, the director, to be there is subtotaled in another group. So I can break things down and, into different categories. Here's a keyboard shortcut list, which I can put next to me while I'm spotting. Here's a mixer copy. This has both timecode and footage that the program automatically calculates. And it's got some mixers like to have the grid, some don't. You can easily delete it from the report if you're working with a mixer who doesn't want it. Oh, one thing that comes up once in a while is how do I create blank sheets for the stage? What I recommend people doing is taking the report and deleting all the fields in the report. So if I wanted to create a mixer cue sheet, I'm going to duplicate it first. So I could just say, delete all that stuff, and just give me, and I probably also want to delete the reel because I don't know what reel it's going to go in, and I don't know what actor it is, and I'm left with a blank report. And you can print those out and bring those to the stage if you want to, if things are being added on the stage as you go. Okay. Other types of cue sheets. Here's an editor's copy. You can control how many cues per page you want in the modify report window. You can say I only want 2 cues, I only want 1 cue per page, to give you plenty of space to write down notes as you're recording the ADR. Here's a director's copy, which has all the notes over here, and the actor's copy, which doesn't have the editor's notes included. And again, you can change the font if you're working with an actor who might not be able to see well. You could make the font nice and big, you know, things like that. Okay, again, if you wanted to print out a cue sheet, you would make the cue list window active. If you want to create a line count table, you need to make the character list window active, because those are the records that are those are the rows in the report. You always have to think about what the rows are in the report, okay? So you can customize the reports, add logos and things like that. There's advanced scripting available if you really want to knock yourself out. Batch printing, you can select multiple characters and reels with one report, and ADR Manager will do the page numbering and the page breaks based on, you know, different characters. It starts numbering over again when it gets to a new character and a new reel. I suggest saving things as PDFs before printing. I suggest not printing directly from the program. That way you have a hard copy of the report as it went to the stage, and also gives you a way to email things easily back and forth. It also, you can email something to a director and they can't change it. They have to tell you what they want to change so you can change it in the database. Sometimes if you give them the option to change it, they'll, you know, scribble it and then show up on the stage and things will be different.